actually working very, very hard to bring this forum to. It's a great forum and it's a great city to be in. And I feel that Ludhiana itself is a great example of entrepreneurship, and that's what my topic is. So as Rohan said, my journey has been historically becoming an entrepreneur myself. I was an intentional entrepreneur. A lot of people are accidental entrepreneurs. I was intentional. I always wanted to run an enterprise and want to run my own business. And that's how my journey started about 27 years back. And then I got into something even more interested in, which means that I started helping other entrepreneurs to start their journey. So in next 10 odd minutes, which I've been given, I will talk about entrepreneurship and how it's changed. And what is important is that we all understand that even a state like Punjab and SarabhaNagar, which is Ludhiana, it is a city of entrepreneurs, but a lot has changed the way entrepreneurship was looked at 30 years back and 40 years back. Some of the great family businesses really came out of that city. And why we don't see that same kind of success now, and why we don't see the same kind of success going forward from that same state and same city and things like that. Because the way entrepreneurship was looked at is drastically changed and will continue to change. So I'll give you my 5 tips, which I have learned, especially in the last 5-6 years. While the first, I would be honest that the first 20 years were very classic entrepreneurship, but now the word entrepreneurship is significantly changed. And 5 tips which would be very, very important for every budding entrepreneur, because TED is actually reaching out to a lot of budding entrepreneurs and people who are even seasoned entrepreneurs. They need to change. The 5 things which you need to keep in mind when you build your entrepreneurial journey or build your enterprise is following. So first, the way you look at your enterprise has to be significantly different now. Earlier, when we design our organizations, we used to design it in a different manner. We used to have departments. We used to have, this is a sales department, this is a marketing department, this is operation, this is the entire. Now, I think the 4 pillars which you really have to base your organization or enterprise is what I call the 4 pillars are creativity. You need to have somebody who's looking after the creativity of the organization, which means innovation, critical thinking. A lot of things have to change. Innovation has become a very important part of the organizations. Every 6 months, way people consume would change. So how do you really put a pillar and foundation of what I call creativity in your organization? Second is communication. How do you communicate to your stakeholders? And stakeholders can be internal, external, even your staff, if your people around you, your vendors, everybody is looking at you now. And we are in a very, very connected world. Even look at a company, I mean, leaders like Bill Gates, who are heading a company like Microsoft and things like that, they communicate so well these days. How do you really communicate to entire thing? TED itself is a great platform to communicate your thoughts, and you can really be a thought leader on that. Third is objectivity and accountability. How do you really drive objectivity in the enterprise? And fourth is the purpose, which is the only department as an entrepreneur you need to keep to yourself. You need to keep reminding why you started this, what problem you are solving to the world, what kind of difference you need to create to society. So this is the purpose. So 4 things which are very important, which is my first tip, is that bring the foundation of creativity, communication, objectivity, and the purpose. If you bring these 4 things and continue to tell yourself that this is the only 4 things which are required in on-prem, rest everything is noise. So that's one part of the tip. So the second tip is there is nothing like return on investment anymore. There used to be a mindset of return on investment. Any capital we put, we wanted a return on that capital. Now it's changed. It's become a return on intelligence. Even a lot of people are talking about even the way Mukesh Ambani works. It's all about intelligence. It's the timing. He really saw that this is a time to raise. And even in the period of COVID, he was raising, where everybody was just conscious in the bunkers. He went out and he raised. He knew that there's a great opportunity out there. A lot of people would like to establish or invest into stable businesses, and his business was very stable. And that's what intelligence is really about. It's about timing, how you really time yourself. So don't worry about return on intelligence investment anymore. Go into return on intelligence. Third, build value rather than chasing income. And this is what the problem. I'm also a Punjabi, comes from Chandigarh. So my wife comes from Ludhiana. So we all have a mindset of chasing incomes, but we don't build value. So value is built when you bring in predictability in your business model, you bring sustainability in your business model, and you make yourself redundant. The greatest valued businesses are where entrepreneur is not required. Actually, that's what the fun part of it. In the older classic way of doing things, you always wanted to be a tightly controlled businesses. You always want to be in the business. You always wanted to really look at it entire thing. No more. Now you want to really build businesses which can run without you. And that's where the value is built. So if you are building your entrepreneur journey, ask yourself that what is the time frame I will look for myself, that I will make myself redundant in my own business, that I'm no more required, and the business runs by itself. And that is the way you build value in your enterprise. That's a rule number 3. Rule number 4 is think scale. Don't think conventional growth. Conventional growth was when you really have to grow and you have to deploy the equal amount of resources proportionately, which means that if I was running a factory, I would have to put another factory and other people. So you always used to put equal amount of resources and then your growth would come. But scale is these technology companies. If you really see, even if you're sleeping, the business is still growing. How do you really design your business models, which doesn't require equal amount of resources to be deployed to get the same kind of growth levels, right? So that's what the future of businesses should be. Businesses should be multiplying themselves rather than you need to push every time and bring them that. So that's what would be. And the 5th part, which is to me very important now, is that we do these businesses and run these enterprises and build entrepreneurship for a larger purpose. And we enjoy doing it. We have fun doing it. And if the fun is lost, exit the game. And there should be no problem to hang around in something which you're not enjoying anymore. And if you feel that that area is already come or is about to come, start thinking on your exit planning. Think about exit planning rather than you've been forced to exit. You need to really design yourself that you are able to exit. So I'll repeat myself, 5 things which you need to do. 1, set your organization foundation. Foundation is done on putting up creativity, communication, objectivity, and purpose. Never think about return on investment. Think about return on intelligence. Build value. Don't chase income. Talk about scale, not the conventional growth. And if you are not enjoying it, find an exit.